As expected, election results have spiked uproar not only throughout the country, but also here in Lawrence. An estimated 500 people marched along Massachusetts streets Saturday night in protest of President-elect Donald Trump. In contrast to many other protests around the country, there wasn't a policeman in sight, and for good reason. The only incidents were a few sharp exchanges of words between Trump supporters and protesters.
Stop yelling!
Many people brought signs as a way to share their own personal connection to their reason for protesting.
I'm an immigration activist because I actually had my husband deported, and I've met so many people in that situation that are right now are really scared of what's going to happen to them.
Lawrence High School senior Jasmine Machete, the organizer of the event, hopes events like these will bring solidarity to our country and community. According to some of the protesters Saturday night, some minority students were escorted to class as a result of harassments here on campus. Nationally, as of Friday night, the Southern Poverty Law Center counted 201 incidents of harassment or intimidation relating to the election. Unfortunately, incidents of harassment are being most commonly reported at K-12 schools. Anti-Black and anti-immigrant incidents show up most often, along with anti-Muslim and anti-woman falling closely behind. The SPLC is asking all hate incidents to be reported on their website at splcenter.org/reporthate. Country superstar Brad Paisley rolls into Lawrence tonight on the Country Nation College Tour. We have a preview of the free show open to the public and a look at tonight's weather.
Plus, the latest scandal to rock the presidential campaign. Donald Trump facing new accusations. And we're a little over 2 weeks away from the start of the men's basketball season. What we saw from Media Day coming up. Stay with us.
KUGH reporter Aungelina Dahm is live at Memorial Stadium. Aungelina, are fans lining up for the show yet?
Alex, there's not much going on here right now, as you can see from the small line forming behind me. But if you are planning on coming here tonight, here are a few things you need to know. The gates will open at 6:30 and the show starts at 7:30. So be sure to get here early enough to get a good spot. Be aware that parking might be hard to find, but check the Mississippi Street parking garage and the other lots listed on the screen. Parking opens at 6 p.m. Make sure that you do not bring any alcohol, chairs, blankets, or backpacks tonight. Brad Paisley's not the only country music star in Lawrence tonight. Brett Young was also here for a meet and greet earlier today, and KUJH reporter Peyton Krause was there.
Really am terribly disappointed in my own Republican Party with the leadership that Donald Trump has given it. I do not like the language he's given it. I'm sorry, Bob.
Those were the remarks from Senator Nancy Kassebaum this past Saturday when she visited the Dole Institute of Politics with Senator Bob Dole himself. They came to speak on the state of today's politics and to reflect on their combined 53 years of service in Congress. Senator Kassebaum said, quote, "People aren't willing to work across the aisle. Today's problems are different but significant." Senator Dole continued to stress on the importance of friendship and trust between all members of the legislative and executive branches, meanwhile encouraging citizens to volunteer and get involved.
So we need some leadership to get more young people interested in public service.
The discussion came to a close by surprising Senator Kassebaum with the annual Dole Leadership Award that has been given to other influential leaders such as Presidents Clinton and Bush. Student body president Stefan Alcorn reflected on how their leadership influences his own actions within KU politics.
One of the things I've been definitely trying to do is just going into different communities, hearing their voices, and then seeing how we can work together. And I think there's no other two people to illustrate that besides those.
The Dole Institute will hold its next discussion about animal welfare in America. It begins Wednesday night at 7. 56 days. That is how much longer we have until we choose the next president of the United States. And tomorrow, the Dole Institute will hold a lively discussion on voting rights as part of their annual Constitution Day program. Kansas Secretary of State Chris Kobach and KU Law Professor Mark P. Johnson will lead the discussion, which will include voter ID laws, proof of citizenship laws, the interstate cross-check system, and more.
I would hope they would realize just how important it is to vote and how important for them to realize that it is an American responsibility.
The Dole Institute is expecting a big turnout, so get there early. The discussion starts at 6:30 p.m.
Aungelina?
Thank you, Shane. I'm sorry, I'm just too excited to talk about this. The Cubs and Indians are heading to the World Series. And let's just say that ticket prices are going to be out of the park. The Chicago Cubs have not won a World Series since 1908, and the Cleveland Indians last won in 1948, so prices will be high. According to Ticket Tracker, the average asking price to attend the 4 games scheduled in Cleveland is about $3,900. What will it cost to get into the games 3, 4, and 5 in Chicago? The asking price of the games at Wrigley Field is about $7,200. This series begins tomorrow night in Cleveland.
I'm so excited. But I would never pay that much.
No, I couldn't help but see your face in the corner of my eye. The mouth just dropped once I saw the figures there.
Coming up in sports, Kansas Rowing hosted the 4th annual Jayhawk Jamboree. Plus, we'll take a look at the football team's efforts over the weekend. Stay with us.
For more on Late Night, we go live to Aungelina Dahm at Allen Fieldhouse for more.
It's not so crazy here now, but starting tomorrow at 10 a.m., it will be a whole different story. If you look behind me, they're setting up the court and the stands for the Fog Festival for people to line up tomorrow, which will be going on until 3 p.m. They're going to have various participating vendors, one of them being the DeBruce Center itself. They're opening at the same time the festival starts tomorrow at about 10 a.m., so Jayhawk fans can go and visit the Naismith statue. They can discover deeper history into KU basketball, and they can peek at the Star Exhibition, which is the original rules of basketball. Peyton Krause will be able to tell us more about this story later in the newscast, but Alana, if this isn't the perfect way to be immersed into the tradition of KU basketball, I don't know what is. Ecumenical Campus Ministries held a banner dedication yesterday in support of the Black Lives Matter movement. Various other congregations across Lawrence added their name to the banner to join in. Following the numerous incidents and protests last year, not only in Lawrence but around the country, the EMC feels they are a place to provide an outlet for students.
The ECM has always stood as a place that your voice can be heard. Not only can your voice be heard, but your voice leads to actions and actions that matter. ECM has always been a place about that, about moving forward together.
The EMC also features a brand new breakfast club right outside next to the Oriette at an affordable cost for students and their walk to class. Some other fun programs include a veggie lunch every Thursday based solely on donations from community members.